Welcome everyone to AJ's World of Bodybuilding. We're sponsored by Phoenix Labs again. And we got Nigel Lomax, bodybuilder, expert. You've been part of muscular development, some shows there with me. And first of all, you watched the New York Pro, correct?
Yeah, it's my second favorite. It's my second favorite competition. Watch it every year.
What's so special about the New York Pro for you?
The New York Pro is usually about mass, so it's more of a muscular competition to me than probably aesthetics. So I was there in person when Rami won, which was amazing. I sat right by Victor Martinez's family and had to console them after Victor lost. But it's a great competition. The fans there are crazy. It's always packed. And Bev Francis gym, like they run a great promotion for them, and the gym is incredible too. So if anybody gets to go, they definitely need to go out there and see the competition live, and also go to Bev Francis's gym and Shapely as well.
We're gonna break down the show. The lead up in was, for some people who don't know bodybuilding, obviously, they had Nick Walker, a problem because of what he displayed on Pittsburgh. They had, actually, a lot of people had Quinton Beastwood coming in, winning. We saw the Olympia TV guys were talking about it. They also had Tonio Burton placing really high, and Martin Fitzwater. We're going to talk about the top 3, 4 later, but as we come in, as we see the scorecards on the screen, top 8, we're going to start with 8th place finisher, Angel Calderon. And no, was it 8th place? Let me just quickly, wasn't it 8th place?
It was 8th place.
And Nigel, I think he was overlooked. He came in after the prejudging, first call out, huge, freaky, packed on a lot of muscle. It's an open show pro winner. He came in, he was in the first call out, then he got removed, but he got put back into the first call out. What do you think, Nigel, happened placing as low as 8? Because he was on, he was full, he was looking freaky.
I think it's because of his size. I think it's because he's so short.
Height?
I think he gets over. I think it's his height, and I think it's because he's so short, he gets overlooked. But if you look at his front, let's look at his front relax. His front relax looks just like Nick's, if not better, especially when he uncoils it and everything. And he's got that tiny waist as well. I mean, really
tiny waist.
I think he has a tiny waist for a short guy, for that much muscle packed onto a short guy. So aesthetically, he looks great with his shortness and the fact that he flows. I think his waist has gotten a lot better, oddly enough, as an open competitor than a 212 competitor, because I've always thought his waist was a little thick in 212, but I thought he looked absolutely fantastic. I had him in the top 5.
I had him 6th. I didn't have him in the top 5, but a little bit disappointed with his placing, and we'll see what he does next. But he looked phenomenal in 7th.
I think he should go to Chicago, to be quite honest with you.
In 7th, I don't want to use the word disappointment, but the guy people expected a lot out of, he took 2 years off. He came in with great condition. Do you agree it was great condition?
Beautiful conditioning.
Really
Probably
good
the best
condition.
conditioning.
Tiny midsection, beautiful, tall, wide shoulders. Everything was proper, like an Andrew Jack, Lee Haney, Samson Dowda type of frame. But the size was not put on in the way probably we were expecting based off the hype. And he did not make the first call out. And for the finals, he looked good. I don't think it was a big difference. 7th place. What do you think, Nigel?
I've worked out.
No, sorry. Sorry. 6th place. We'll talk about the 7th place guy later. 6th place, Quinton Beastwood.
So, I mean, I've seen him in person because I used to work out at Pure Muscle. He is a huge guy. I thought his shape and his conditioning were fantastic. I was disappointed that he did not have a lot of size on him. I thought he had more size on him last year than he did this year, but he was in better condition this year.
Stop.
Yeah.
What do you stop? First of all,
Yep.
he took a year and a half off. What do you mean by
Right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I saw him last year at the gym. So
okay.
So last year at the gym, I thought he put on more
When you
size
saw him
last
at
year.
the gym, did you see him in contest shape, or did you just see him? What do you mean?
I saw him in contest shape. Like,
and you saw him
I
now,
think
and you don't see any difference?
I mean, I don't see where the amount of muscle that he packed on from last year and this year actually translated. I see that he's very lean and he's in very good condition, which is different from 2 years ago when his conditioning was so. But I don't see the muscle maturity and the amount of muscle that has increased over 2 years or even over last year when I saw him in the gym as well. But I didn't see him in the gym this year where, he probably packed on all the muscle and everything else and what he looked like. He might have, you never know, he might have shrunk down so much in order to get into condition that he lost some of his muscularity. I mean, that does happen in some cases as well. I think he's probably a couple of years out and everything. I didn't think it was a bad look for him.
Oh, no.
I just thought that with all of the other competition, when you have Angel in front of you who looks like humongous, and then you have all the rest of the guys that look very big and very polished and very conditioned, this is possibly the wrong show for him to enter because everybody was big, full, and in condition. And so if you're not big, full, and in condition, then you really do stand out, and that means that people are disappointed in you. But I think if the lineup was different, they wouldn't have been disappointed. Now, people saying that he's going to win, that prediction, I don't even understand that. I think Bob Chicarella said he was going to win, and I disagreed with that completely.
It amazes me sometimes the lack of these. We're not going to mention the other names, but there's so many guys with the big channels and they're judges and they're at every shows, they're legends, but they're predicting things that are so far out from what's really happening on stage. And like guys like you and me that watch every athlete, it's sometimes it amazes us. Quinton, tremendous legs, upper body. We need to pack on more size, more density, but people are not against him now. They're just, it was a little bit let down based off the hype that he obviously as a bodybuilder, he takes the hype, of course. He wants the good, but it takes time. He's only 30.
Right. He's only 30 years old. And the other thing is they're basing hype on, up to the show, or either that or 6 weeks or, when he's in off season and everything else. I mean, he looked huge on off season, but once you dial it down, sometimes that doesn't translate well.
And here comes my most improved athlete at the show, standing out right from the start, Christian Wolski from Poland. Is it?
Yep.
I saw him live last year in Spain, and I saw him now. And Nigel, I could not believe upper body was missing a little bit before, came up tremendously. Legs are like world-class level, separation, conditioning. Nigel, what were you seeing when you saw Christian Wolski?
I was super impressed. I mean, not only did he have a lot of mass, but he also had the conditioning down pat. His side shots were awesome. His legs, I mean, it used to be that his legs look bigger than his upper body and everything else. They've completely made him aesthetically pleasing. I thought his posing was great. I thought the way that he handled it, his showmanship, the way that he pretty much looked like he belonged on that stage and everything. One could even argue that he should have been higher. But I mean, I thought it was a good show for him.
We're gonna go into that. 4th place, he was a little bit disappointed. I could see in the call-outs and maybe the placing. Beef stew, tremendous size for such a young guy. We've seen crazy improvements the last 2 years, and he has that density and thickness already. How old is he? 30? Barely?
30, barely 30 if he is 30,
Very good. But Nigel, if Christian was standing out even more to me, and Beef was 4th.
I thought Christian was harder. I thought his muscle maturity was better.
Yeah.
Beef in the front, I thought he beat him in the front.
Hmm.
Beef might beat him in the back a little tiny bit. I've seen it seemed like Beef was a little bit more conditioned last year. I don't know. I mean, it could be the lighting or the stream or whatever,
I
but
thought it was a good lighting at the stage.
yeah, I mean, I just thought, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I thought his conditioning was a little bit off. I thought night he did something at night that really turned it on, and I think that's the reason why Christian probably lost. But if I were Beef Stew, I would not be that disappointed.
No,
One,
not definitely not.
he put on size.
Yeah.
That was what he was supposed to do. He did improve in a lot of places that he needed to improve on. It just wasn't his night. And I mean, if you got Nick Walker and all the rest of them in there, it's a better lineup than last year to me. So, I mean, if he's going to go on the caliber of lineup versus last year, I think he should be really proud.
He definitely got the best out of what the lineup, and he definitely. I don't think a lot of people predicted him to be top 4. Well, some actually did, but great showing. Cali Pro for him and Volsky, I would hope for. But
Yeah.
Nigel, there were 3 men above the rest, as we say.
Yeah.
That's the Roman Reigns saying above the rest. And Nigel, top 8 Olympia. Tonio Burton last year, even though the Olympia wasn't as stacked, top 8. He almost beat Rafael.
Yep.
And he loses pretty decisively to Martin. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, I don't think he didn't touch Martin.
So
Martin looked better.
Well, let's go back to Tonio.
I mean,
let's go back to Tonio.
Yeah.
Tonio,
Yep.
beautiful aesthetics, back double, probably the best in the world. Beautiful deep. I'm not so sure this Dexter Jackson thing is really. We need a little bit more accomplishments for that.
Yeah, I don't think he's Dexter Jackson material right now.
He's in good condition.
Right.
But he is not Martin Nick Walker condition. Is this correct?
That's correct. But he did look better than his last showing, though. So
you really thought he was better here?
Yeah, I thought he looked better. I mean, I thought his conditioning was better than when Rafael beat him. In this condition, Rafael wouldn't have beaten him. But he just needs to be a little bit bigger, I think.
But what do we, Nigel, one thing. For Cali, he's going into Cali, hopefully to win. Mm-hmm. But with the muscle he has right now, what would be better? To be really hard and super hard and tight, because he's probably like 208, 220 max, or coming bigger and fuller, a different type of look, because he's still not going to be the biggest guy out there.
I think in Cali, because of the way that Cali is, I think he needs to be tighter. In New York, he needs to be fuller.
That's based off of how they judge New York. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So in New York, if he came in fuller and not as tiny, it would have been a different look, and he would have looked a little bit, his muscle would have popped a lot more. So I think in New York, you need to be fuller. In Cali, you need to be a lot tighter. So I think his look in Cali is going to work.
We'll see how he does at this. He's going to win Cali. That's my prediction. That's almost guaranteed, because Martin, I just spoke to him. He's not doing Cali. I don't see Beef Stew taking Tonio. And Tonio will win Cali, but he needs to do something to make top 10 at this Olympia. He needs to do something different. You can't do it the same way, because
no, in fact, after he wins Cali, if he wins Cali, he needs to shut it down, and he needs to come in a lot bigger. So, I mean, I know that they want him to come in tighter and everything, but I think he's going to have to suffer. He's going to have to either, give up some conditioning or go with a tighter look than he has right now. So, it's either be fuller or out conditioned everybody.
New York Pro will be remembered either as the Nick Walker, the return of Nick Walker, or the rise of Martin Fitzwater. Depends what you're looking at. But quickly, Martin Fitzwater, for people who don't know, I speak to him a lot. The last 2 years has been up and down for him when it comes to, he has high expectations. You know, he wanted to beat Andrew Jack, you know, in 2022. It didn't happen. Then the YouTube, he said some comments that that people started to, like, you know what I mean, troll him a little bit on YouTube. It was like small things. Then I think he didn't get invited to the Arnold Classic. They didn't see him as a big enough star, even though guys like Shaban did. And then he comes in, Nigel. Best condition of the show? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Most definitely. Yes.
He comes in, and you see him here on the screen as he battles Nick Walker, mano a mano, Nigel. Conditioning is lights out. The aesthetics. He doesn't lack any really body part. His posing, Nigel, is spot on. He only lost the prejudging by 1 point. And the same in the finals, Nigel. What's your feeling with the Martian right now?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate him for looking better than he did in Detroit.
Much better.
I thought he looked great at the New York Pro. Detroit, I wasn't really that impressed, but New York Pro,
wait. You wasn't that impressed?
Yeah, I mean, compared to what he could be when you like look at him.
You have a good Vito poster over your wall. Is that correct?
Well, good Vito's a freak. So
okay, back to Martin. Back to Martin. Yeah.
So the thing about Martin is his back is amazing. His back is lights out. I think his back is better than Nick's back. I mean, if you look at some of those shots, it's crazy. His conditioning is crazy.
The glutes
just completely dug in. His tan was perfect. The way he like composed himself and the way he posed was outstanding. I mean, listen, in some cases I would have had him beating Nick. I'm not surprised that it was 1 point. I thought it was very close. Everybody else thought that Nick was going to run away with it.
Why are some YouTube channels saying Nick Walker domination after prejudging when it's a 1 point lead? How can you report things as domination when it's 1 point?
You know, the funny part about it is I think that people don't understand how it's judged. It's judged top to bottom.
These are anyway, let's go in to, we discussed Martin a little bit. Nick Walker, the haters before, and all the people on comment. Imagine, Nigel, you were supposed to compete last was it Arnold amateur?
Yeah, it was Arnold. Yeah.
Imagine you go in after a return, after almost 1.5 years off. You do all this work. You're so excited, and you have 1 million people Instagram followers, and all you hear is negativity the last week because of a guest posting. Nigel, Nick Walker, he had to take some mental toughness to block all those out. I said it, he would have no problem with his midsection at New York after guest posting, because that's guest posting. First, did you see it as an issue? A guest posting midsection he had. Do you see that as an issue?
Yeah, I did see it as an issue.
You did see an issue with it?
I did see it as an issue. Yeah, I mean, he was okay. I understand the whole theory that you're not supposed to be dieting down for a guest posing, but he
drove for 5 hours and he ate.
But he was 2 weeks away.
1 week away.
1 week. I'm sorry. He was 1 week away from being on, stage ready. So to me, he should have been aesthetically pleasing. I mean, you've got other guys, Samson and some other guys that are completely off, that are on, off season and everything. You got Derek who rolls in there that looks like a champ, and then...
Okay, Nigel, okay. We go into the show now. We got to talk about what we saw. He came in, Nigel, big.
He came in big and full. Yep.
Prejudging, he was full. For the finals, he became a little bit drier for me. I like the full look on him because he is a monster. He's not Serge Nubri, meaning I like the monster look on him. The judges told him after the Arnold, remember, come in like a monster. This is your physique.
Right.
He did it. His back was slightly improved.
Yep.
In some shots, he was overpowering Martin with the pure size.
Right.
But it was close, Nigel.
It was close because, I mean, again, New York is a freak show.
Yes.
The freak is going to win. Okay, so He has got freaky muscle. No one takes that away
And
from him.
midsection was good on stage, correct?
The midsection was good on stage, but
Yes.
I mean, he still doesn't flow. He doesn't flow to me. I mean, if you look at Martin flows.
That's correct.
So I think Martin won a lot of points because of his flow.
Yes.
Nick won because of his muscularity. So that's the 1 point right there.
Size, muscularity, conditioning, presentation, stage
exactly.
professionalism.
So if you boil down to it and everything, both guys were even in everything except for muscularity. Nick won in muscularity. That means there's that 1 point right there.
Yeah, but
that's how even they were.
It's the overall. It's not 1 point. It's the overall package, correct?
Exactly. But the overall package is if you put all of those things in a bowl, right? And you say, where are you? You're in New York. Muscularity counts more than anything else in New York.
Nigel, stop it. You think that muscularity is more worth at New York than would be at Indie Pro or in Spain?
Oh yeah, definitely. Look at past champions. Muscularity is, the only person that I can ever think of that muscularity wasn't king was probably Sergio Oliva Jr. because he had, size and proportion at that year. But I didn't think he was the biggest guy on stage. But other than that,
New York Rami was better than Victor when he won.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, and Rami was bigger than Victor.
Yeah. But anyway, Nick Walker. One thing though, who did you have winning? Easy question. Not easy question.
I had Nick Walker winning. Yeah,
you had Nick Walker winning. So did I. I had it a close win.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yep.
Takeaway. Martin Fitzwater, the new star of bodybuilding. He told me it's going to add a little bit more on the arms, a little bit more size for the Olympia. Come in with even better conditioning and fight for that top 7, top 6.
I can see that.
Nick Walker, has he made the improvements? Because he was on. It's the quad sweep. It's what, you know what I mean? The quad sweep from the front, so it makes it a little bit different for all the front shot. Is it improved enough to battle a Derek, Samson, Hardy Chupin?
No.
We go into the 212. This is very quickly because we got to go to the gym. And Nigel, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'6" tall. I know you're a midget. How tall are you? Say it for the audience.
5'4".
I gotta say,
my game.
I gotta say, Nigel, the 212. Oh, yeah. You gotta be, Nigel. You gotta be proud of your guys, huh?
Every last one of them came in shape. There was no one that slipped. No one.
We gotta talk about the top 4. And Nigel, to be honest, if we were there judging, the bodybuilders are probably happy that we're not judging there. But if we were, could you say that all the guys in the top 4 could have almost have won?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean,
let's go into Sagarella from Italy. Is prepped by Maurice Sassi now. I saw him live losing to Ahmad Ashkenani, another monster freak. I thought actually Sagarella could have won. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. And I thought he did win, but go ahead.
Sagarella, did you see the most muscular now? When he hits the most muscular, everything is firing, but he's so beautiful, classical, aesthetical look, Nigel. What do you like about Sagarella here at New York?
I just think that his physique is just beautiful. It flows very well. I mean, he pops and everything to that effect. I think he needs to be a little bit bigger. I do.
Can he on the weight though? I don't know how much he weighs.
I think he can still add weight. I think he's a rather short competitor as well. I mean, shorter than most. But I mean, the way that he moves, he poses great and everything else. I think, him changing coaches was the right thing to do. He just needs to add some more muscle and then he should be fine. I think he will win this year though. 212
is not considered a classical type of look win, even though Keon has it. You need to have that thing because when you're meeting those other, that granite, you cannot come and just be beautiful. You need to have a power, correct?
Exactly. But I mean, listen, his conditioning as usual was just point on. So, I mean, congratulations to him.
Top 3. This could have you wouldn't have a problem if they switched. I wouldn't have a problem if fourth, third, and second, because I had the winner pretty clear. But those top
Right.
three there for me could have gone either way. But top
No, I
three,
agree.
say the name so I don't butcher his name. I did it wrong on my stories. For guys, you can watch my Instagram. I usually have a ton. Did you see my Instagram coverage?
I didn't see the last one.
The stories that I did yesterday.
Yeah, I did see the stories.
Yeah,
Are
that's
you
some
talking
great
about?
people. Okay, so third place, Francisco Barrios Week. He says he's from Brazil. I believe he's from Argentine or something.
Yeah, he's from Brazil, or he's out of Brazil, and he's coached by Patrick Tour.
Nigel.
And yeah, he I told you that he's like one of my favorites.
Oh wow.
I mean, he's one of my favorites, and I had him in second, and I told Patrick I had him in second.
You had him in second, yeah. Okay, so one thing, conditioning, spectacular.
Conditioning was great.
Midsection, incredible.
Yep.
He has every beautiful aesthetics, round shoulders, arms.
I'll tell you where he messed up.
His
back. The way that he poses his back double.
Okay.
And the way that he poses his lat spread, his back double's not as bad as his lat spread, but he doesn't open up with his lat spread. It makes him look small.
Is he okay? Carried by Joe, on paper, the favorite based off his Olympia. Why do you say you would have Francesco higher than Carried?
I didn't think Carrick he didn't look the best I've ever seen him look. I thought his conditioning was fine, but it was just, he just looked a little off to me. His muscularity was there, but it wasn't popping and it wasn't as impressive as the other guys to me.
Carried who just changed to Patrick Tour, no, to Neil Hill from his and Nigel, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but when he came out, as you said, something of that I can win the Olympia look wasn't there.
Yeah, it was you've seen pictures of him beforehand, like last year and everything. Those pictures were phenomenal, and then they would transfer well on stage. This year's pictures were not as phenomenal as last year's pictures, and then he just seemed flat, just really flat.
Or could it be the winner, Nigel? When Ule comes out, I was thinking, okay, I noticed the midsection was a lot tighter than before. That's a good sign from the front.
Right.
That was he doesn't have a problem with the midsection, but when you meet guys like Keon, you got to be,
tight.
Comes out, I'm like, whoa, he's hot. And then Nigel
turned around.
When he turned around, you were getting a little bit extra excited, weren't you?
Oh yeah. When he turned around, I was like, he's won. I mean, everybody else should just leave. He just won that thing. In fact, I'm not even sure why they did the call out, because he won from when he turned around and then when he came back from the front. He just did a great job, and hats off to him, because he's from a country that's at war and he's had to work his ass off. I think he was in New York 3 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
And his prep went really well. I'm looking forward to seeing him at the Olympia. It's going to be exciting.
New York Pro. It will be a New York Pro we will remember with great joy. It was a fantastic show. Nick Walker, Martin Fitzwater, and Ule are the three guys that stood out the most to us.
Frank as well. Francisco as well. So
in the 212.
Yep.
I'm really excited that we saw. I'm an open guy, but it pains me when there's no shows for 212, because you can't just leave the division. And when they finally came, they stole. Well, they didn't steal the show. They were part of this show because there was many open. Was excellent. And Cali Pro, you'll be watching.
I'll be watching Cali Pro, and let me say, everybody came in shape at the New York Pro, and that does not happen often. This was a great New York Pro. I mean, even the wellness, and you know me, I don't really look at the women's divisions at all.
That
but the
sounds
wellness
a little bit suspect. You don't look at women, bro. And one thing, Nigel, before we go, can Quinton come in and win Cali?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Oh, okay, Nigel.
Yeah.
Guys, I hope you like this episode. Quick wrap up. Remember to subscribe. Thank you to Phoenix. Nigel, do you know I'm creating my own protein line?
Oh, really? Cool, man.
It's going to come out next week. I'm going to tell you more about it then. But until then, have a great day and kill it at the gym.
You too, man. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.